YouTube. How are you doing out here? This is next week. How was last week? Last week was definitely an interesting week. A lot happened, a lot of changes, a lot of transformations are going on out there, and we see it in the cards. This week, it's interesting. The energy today is an Ace of Spades, and it starts off with the Ace of Spades displacing this week, the King of Hearts. That's emotional energy. How are you feeling today? Because that's emotional energy field that we're sitting in. The Ace of Spades, in and of itself, can be an emotional card because it's just in Mercury, Neptune. And remember that Mercury is something that attaches to something, so that energy could be, all over the place. And it's Neptune. So definitely the Ace of Spades can be a very, busy card. Hey, how you doing? So today with that Ace of Spades displacing the King of Hearts, which is not as kings are more stationary. They are good for the leadership and the abilities and the qualities that they have, but kings should not be all over the place. And because the King of Hearts is an emotional card, it definitely needs to be able to be in a place of, where they can control their emotions because that's the power of the King of Hearts. But with the Ace of Spades sitting in that house today, it's a discovery time. It's a time, for discovery and exposure. But it's also dealing with health because spades always deal with health. And with it sitting in the house of the King of Hearts, which is Biden's card, it wanted me to see where the King of Hearts is sitting this week and what it's displacing. And it's displacing the Six of Spades. So this could be a week of health issues for him and all King of Hearts. Things that have been festering could come up because that Six of Hearts is going to be karmic things that could be coming back. The challenging karmic cards are Nine of Spades. So these could be things that have been around for a long time that you may not have been paying any attention. So this is definitely a week to pay attention to your health and definitely a week to pay attention to the president's health. This is sitting in Neptune, and the president is in Neptune with a Six of Diamonds. And Neptune is that time of your life where you are sitting in that in the womb, going back to the womb after you've lived out whatever it is, whether it's a year or whatever, when you're using your Neptune card. So we're looking at the president sitting in Neptune. This is a later time in his life, and he is an elder. So his health, with him having health issues, is not something that is out of the ordinary. But this week we could see the effects of long-term health issues on him. So we just have to keep good thoughts and good prayers for him this week so he can recover, because there's a lot of fours in his spread. So fours are good for recovery. He can definitely use that energy to do and have some good healing effects. But this is an important week because we're now sitting in what's known as pre-birth. We're on plate 88. You can go to Cardology University and pull up the Grand Solar Square and go to plate 88 and see where we're sitting at. This is what's known as pre-birth. When we look at cardology and we look at the Jack of Hearts and we look at the Christ principle, we see that 44 is pre-birth. This is where born again comes from. It's those 3 days where Christ is crucified, goes into the tomb, and then is born again. And this week would represent the crucifixion. So this week we're sitting in that energy field where a lot is going on, a lot of plotting is going on, a lot of things are happening that are leading up to that. So it's going to be an energetic week for sure, depending on where your card is. My card is, where am I sitting? I'm displacing the Jack of Spades this week. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an energetic week for me. But it's an emotional week. For some reason, with that Ace of Hearts displacing this King of Hearts, and the Ace of Hearts is my Pluto, I just woke up with just an emotional feeling around me. And I mean a different kind of emotional feeling. Not feeling emotional, but feeling the power of emotions is what I feel today. So we could learn learn about our emotions this week. We can see how powerful our emotions are, and we can see how we are in controlling and harnessing our emotions this week. Because if we look at that Ace of Spades, excuse me, that starts off the week, the Five of Diamonds is Mercury. So this is a big indication that this is a week of change. This is a week of a lot of movement, because that's what fives are. And the Five of Diamonds is a week of how we're going to use our resources. And then the Five of Clubs is Venus. So this is another indication of our resources. And then the Five of Hearts is Mars. So we got three consecutive fives that are linked together, and that's powerful. So this week we can see a lot of changes, a lot of upheaval, definitely a lot of disruptions, a lot of things that need to happen. The Ace of Spades is the card of transformation. So to transform, you got to shake some stuff up. So this is definitely a week where you want to pay attention to the changes and see where these cards are sitting in your spread. See where these cards are telling you that you need to do. The interesting thing about this week is the Queen of Hearts is a Neptune card, and the Queen of Hearts is Will Smith's card, and he says he's going in for some treatment, and it's a card of NTI, which is coming out. And it's a space in the Six of Hearts, Six of Diamonds. So the Queen of Hearts this week has got to look at some stuff. This is some stuff coming up karmically. This is some stuff that they definitely need to go into that 12th house and do that healing, returning into the womb to do the things that they need to do to fix some things in their life. And that's a powerful placement for it to be, this sitting in the house of the Six of Diamonds, because this is telling you that this is some stuff that's been out there for a minute. This is karma. So things that are happening now is not like, why are these things happening? It's happening to individuals because of their karma and things that they need to address. The challenge and karma cards are Nine of Clubs. So yeah, this is stuff that's been going on for a while. Nine of Clubs is stuff that you're aware of, and Nine of Clubs is challenging you to address it. So the things that are happening are really interesting around that Queen of Hearts energy. And the interesting thing is the Ace of Spades has a Jack of Spades and Pluto. And the Jack of Spades is Mercury to the Queen of Hearts. So this is a lot of changing. The Jack of Spades is a powerful card, but it's a gatekeeper. It's a door opener. It's a very beneficial card when you know how to use that energy well. It has all of the attributes of all of the jacks. So we're going to see a lot of stuff going on in the United States with us in dealing with that 12th house. We got a lot of 12th house energy this week. And the King of Hearts, which is the president, is sitting in the 12th house. So what are we going to discover this week? We're going to discover some interesting things. And with that Ace of Spades, it could be behind the veil, it could be secrets, it could be things that are coming up, or it could be things that we don't even get a chance to know anything about. But it's happening in the universe, and you got to think about that. Just because you don't know things don't mean they're not happening. So we got to be mindful of how we're handling ourselves this week, because it's going to be about exposure. That's what secrets are. Secrets are exposing things. And the Jack of Diamonds is the reward to the Ace of Spades this week. So that's saying a lot. The Jack of Diamonds has to stay the course. It has to do the things that it's doing, and it's coming through that Jack of Spades, which has a Jack of Diamonds in it. So this week, what do you want? What are your desires? What do you want to be exposed to? What do you want to learn? What do you want to transform? What are the doors that you want to open? What are the gateways? What are all of those things that you want to do to get you to the next level is what you should be thinking about this week, because we're going into spiritual times. These are spiritual times. We're literally sitting in a time when they were sitting and thinking about what they needed to do to stop the Christ energy. Because that's what that was about. The crucifixion was to prevent that download, which was already there. Just because you crucified the energy didn't stop it from being where it is. So what does that Christ energy mean to you? Is you want to touch the hem of the garment? This is the week to touch the hem of the garment. This is the week for you to have faith at the grain of a mustard seed. Because on the other side, in 2 days, you risen. You have gone down into the tomb, and now you are doing that 12th house work. And when you come out better than when you went in. If you did the work, you come out the same or you come out worse. It's up to you. So we get a chance to what do we want to do? We want to build businesses. Do we want to do things differently in our families? How do we want to obtain those things is what we get a chance to see this week. How are you feeling? That's the key of how are you feeling? Because you think of the story of the Christ when he knew this was coming. He knew they were plotting against him. So what did he do? He went somewhere and was in prayer. He went somewhere until the moment came where these things were going to happen. So what are we doing this week? Are we manifesting the things that we want? Are we doing the work? Are we having those conversations with ourselves and our higher consciousness to be able to get into that field? When we think of born again, it's 3 days. The cards, it starts on 88, which is today. And then we transition until 89, and then we're born again on the third day, which is 1. So think about where you are and what you want to leave behind. That's what born again is. Is there's things that no longer serve you. Are they triggering you? Are people triggering you? Circumstances, jobs, family, all of these things. This is a chance you get to go down in that tomb in that 12th house and come back out with all of that. And that's what we have this week. With the Jack of Diamonds displacing the Ten of Hearts, this is a big energy. The Ten of Hearts is a big magical card. It's big energy. It brings groups together. It brings people together. So Jack of Diamonds is definitely going to be doing that this week. And it's a gathering time. It's Easter time. It's time when people are thinking about these things. And the Three of Hearts is the Mercury card, and the Three of Hearts is Mercury. So we're gonna be emotional this week. It's gonna be emotional week. It's definitely gonna be emotional week for children. It's displacing the Ten of Diamonds. The Ten of Diamonds can be an emotional card because the Ten of Diamonds has the Nine of Hearts in Pluto. That's emotional. We can't hold on to anything this week. This is what born again is. Let it go. We're letting go of things. This is what born again looks like, right? So this week is a time for us to do that soul work. This is a time for us to get close to our higher consciousness. Well, no matter what it is, and if you feel it, if you're feeling the energy of it, see what it's pointing you to do. We got some powerful stuff out here. We got some powerful energy. We got a lot of Uranian energy out here. We're seeing a lot of storms, which is what Uranus is going to do. Uranus wants us to do things better. It wants us to think about things in a different way. So storms come through to move you. You don't move unless something comes to move you. So the storms that are coming through during the spring season, the rain, that's bringing forth, the flowers and the grass and the new growth and stuff. We can use this time to start planting our seeds, to start tilling our soil, to move the rocks around, to fertilize, and that's inside of us. Spring cleaning starts with us. It starts with our mind, starts with the things we're thinking about, it starts with the food that we're eating. Are we cleaning our house? Do we feel that we need to get rid of stuff that we no longer wear, that's just laying around in the way? Are we getting that feng shui working? What we do now in Aries season is going to show up in the harvest month, which is in October, the Queen of Diamonds. We get a chance to be intentional. What are you planting? You're planting now. Then you're going to be tilling. Then you're going to be fertilizing. Then you're going to be pruning. You're going to be doing all of these things with your desires. So you can, in harvest season in October, your harvest can be dope. It can be what you want. Do the work. The cards give us that. That's why we love the cards. We have our next class coming. Sign up for our next class. It's on astrology, numerology, and cardology. And this class is going to be jam-packed with a lot of information to help you to look at your cards. This is a whole new energy field that we're sitting in. And unlocking our cards and being able to read these grand solar squares is important. Where you're sitting on the grand solar square is important. Learning those grand solar squares, learning the cards, learning the elements, learning the astrological configuration is what we teach at Cardology University. So sign up for our next class. We have Klarna where you pay over time. We've done it so it is easier for people because we know how amazing this is, and the more people that are open to this information, the better that we can be out here. So yeah, we're doing that cleaning. I'm doing that cleaning. I've been moving stuff around and got a lot of stuff that I need to get rid of. So I know what's been cleaning. And today I have a two of spades. Yesterday was a two of spades. Today I have a two of spades. My mother was a two of spades and she cleaned. And yesterday I was moving furniture, getting the dust bunnies, because that's what she did. My mother didn't clean in the middle of the floor. You had to move everything. You had to wash the walls. I was paying homage to my mother yesterday. So I know today I have a two of spades as part two of my cleaning in this in this spring cleaning time. And I look forward to it. So have a great one, fam. This week is going to be energetic. It's going to be high, impactful, and it's going to be very emotional at the same time. This is going to be an emotional week. This is an emotional week. You're going to have to just pick a side with your emotions. The seven of spades this week is displacing the seven of hearts. There's boundaries. This week, you got to pick a side. You can't sit on the fence this week. You got to determine what it is about you, your spiritual essence. You got to decide whether you want to be in the mundane world or you want to be in the spiritual world. You can't be a both. It says that you cannot serve two masters. You can't. You have to determine what it is that's beneficial for you. And this week, it's going to be pointed out to you. I guarantee you're going to have moments of clarity. You're going to have moments of understanding why things happen the way that they happen. And now you got to determine how you're going to move forward with. This is the time for planting. We are leaving space season. We're going into diamond season tomorrow. And people are going to feel like they stepped off a cliff. Because during spade season, you were supposed to be figuring out what you want to plant so you could start planting in diamond season. Spades have access to the hearts, the clubs, and the diamonds. Are you in an emotional relationship? Are you looking at your resources? Are you having these conversations? That's what spades would have had you look at. So when we step into diamond season, now you can use that spark to ignite your resources. Diamond is about your resources. What did you do during spade season? If you didn't do it with the intention, diamond season can be difficult because you don't know how to use your resources. You have got to learn how to use your resources. If there's a project going on in work, you're going to feel it tomorrow. If there are issues going on in the home, you're going to feel it tomorrow. If you're emotionally unstable, you're going to feel it tomorrow. If you didn't do the work in space season, if you're doing the work every day, you're going to be fine. But if you're not doing the work during space season, when the next season steps in, you're going to try to figure out what is it that I need to do. You should have been doing it. Because diamond season is now the pressure that's going to be applied to whatever it is that you have planted. So have a great one, fam. Definitely write down as much as you possibly can. And the planner that we have, we can document so we can look back. I look back at my old planners and I see stuff was on point. Knowing that gives me so much clarity on where I'm supposed to be at and what I'm supposed to be doing. We got a lot of Uranian energy out here, and Uranus is the big dog. Uranus is the collective. Uranus is not sitting back waiting for us to do anything. Uranus is changing it. It's a game changer. And because Uranus was retrograde on the seven of clubs since August, storms are out. It's been storming in Georgia. We have had tornadoes. We don't have stuff like that. You want to look at your Uranus card, and you want to look at that Uranus road to see if you live in a state, a city that has those cards in it. Because I live in a Queen of Spades, so I know we're going to have a very powerful season with storms going into hurricane season. Communications are going to be off because it's Uranus Mercury. So Uranus is going to be working with those things. Our communication has got to change. The way our infrastructures and stuff have to change. So the Queen of Spades is definitely going to take a hit with this energy. If you live in a state or a city that's ruled by anything in the Uranus line and that's vertical or horizontal, look at it, because you're going to take a hit. And this is something that's going to be taking a hit in your family. The Uranus cards are going to be activated in you and your children, whatever your home represents. So get familiar with these Uranus cards so you can see what's happening. Since I know what's happening in Georgia, there's nothing I can do, but there's a lot happening. And when we look at where that seven of clubs is sitting at, we get a chance to see, we know the sevens are ruled by Neptune, so lots of flooding. My house is flooded for 2 days. Lots of flooding. Hurricane season is going to be off the hook. It is. And we have Neptune and Pisces, and Jupiter has joined. So flooding is going to be the theme of this summer. Flooding. So prepare for it. Make sure that you don't have a lot of stuff in your basements. I'm telling you to get ready for the flooding. It's coming. And have a great one, fam. And we'll see you next week. Same bad time, same bad station. Peace.